Welcome back to Inside the Trailer, episode 3. We have now completed 2 successful episodes so far. Not many views, but I'm a chill guy, so it doesn't really matter to me. Yeah, exactly, man. We got a little bit to talk about today. Today's news is kind of slow this week. Some interesting things to talk about, some fun things to talk about, but that's really nothing out of the ordinary for us. So we can just kind of get into it with a recap from last week's end of the episode predictions for the NFL week, and Connor will go over that and who won.
Yeah, so last week we did our own NFL predictions, and so Drew ended up winning this one. It was kind of tight. We had most of our games, similar picks, but the ones that were different, we did with the Packers and the 49ers game. I went with the 49ers. Drew went with the Packers. The next one was the Broncos and the Raiders game. I went with the Broncos. I had that one correct. Drew went with the Raiders. And then the last one that settled it was the Seattle and Arizona game. I ended up going with Arizona, but Drew was right in the end with Seattle, so Drew's the winner this week. So it was fun. It was a good matchup. I won the first matchup with the fantasy game. You won the NFL predictions. So
Yeah. And so, that just means that this episode is a little bit more, intense. Whoever's going to win the next one.
I know.
Best out of 3.
I know.
I kind of want to start introducing punishments to it in some form.
Yeah, something new, something to enhance it a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm with that.
I don't know what it would be. If anyone watching this right now has any ideas in the comments for punishments from our recaps of the games that we play at the end, go ahead and comment it.
Give us ideas. Yeah.
Yeah, we need them, and anything to make you guys have a better viewing experience.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's get into our first piece of news. Is I think it's the biggest thing in the NFL world right now is that Daniel Jones. It's crazy because we know he just joined the Vikings.
Yep.
The Minnesota Vikings signed him as a backup, and he requested it. And now we're getting this. Did this happen today or is it yesterday?
It was today. It was earlier on today. Yeah,
earlier on today. But before that, we were talking about how the biggest piece of news was that he was released.
Yeah.
And so we got, in less than a couple days, Daniel Jones gets released from the Giants, who he's been with since 2019, to now he's on the Vikings squad as a backup. So I don't know what that really means for the Vikings or what that means for the Giants overall. We can kind of dig into this,
Yeah, I think we should start with the Giants first. I think, we've mentioned this before. We talked about the Giants. The Giants are poverty, and they keep digging themselves even further into the hole. They're going to continue to be poverty. I think this is the clear answer to going into the offseason, what their biggest need is. And, as if it wasn't already before, it's quarterback, and I think that's what they're going to look for in the draft. Yeah. Again, we talked about that. It could be Shador. It probably will be, honestly. I think Shador.
You think so?
I think that's a good market for him to go to. So we'll go with that, but there's plenty of other options that they could go with if they want to trade back and look later into the to the first round.
Yeah.
But Tommy DeVito, we went in versus the Bucs, couldn't get it done. Wasn't expecting much out of that though. But again, man, it's the Giants. They just don't know what they're doing. It's a poverty franchise that just can't get out of the hole.
It's starting to make me think that maybe Daboll's future is on the line. Yeah. And I don't personally. I like Daboll, and I think he's a good coach. I don't think it's all on him. I think he was given this bad team, and I think it's simply just that. To be honest. I don't know if his job is even in jeopardy, but I thought it was something to just even mention.
Right.
Because I saw a couple tweets on X. Do you call them tweets?
I call them tweets.
Tweets still? Yeah,
it's still Twitter.
Interaction. I don't even know what they're really called. But
they actually still are called tweets.
Tweets?
It's X, but it's still called tweet. I don't know.
That's ridiculous. Yeah. But I saw some tweets on X about Daboll and his future, so that's why I thought I would bring it up. But yeah, overall, do the Giants even... You mentioned picking, trading back and getting a later pick.
Yeah.
What is the positive impact of doing that? Obviously, you get more picks, but if they need a quarterback so bad, I think there's 2 legit quarterbacks in Cam Ward and Shador Sanders. Right. You're probably not going to get those guys in a later pick.
No, you definitely won't.
Right? So I feel like I'm on the side of things that I think the Giants should get Cam Ward. I think he's the better quarterback in this draft.
Okay.
So, do you differ in opinion and you think Shador is the better quarterback here?
I'd say right now Shador's the better quarterback, but again, the college football season's still going on, so we could, see if Cam Ward turns it up more, go through the combine, Just as we learn more about these two prospects and seeing what they contribute to a team, again, maybe Shedeur doesn't even want to go to New York, so maybe New York's like, okay, we got to go with the next best option, go Cam. It's really weird, but I think I agree with you. I think they need to take the quarterback. I mentioned trading back. It just feels like something dumb the Giants would do. I don't know why. Maybe they just drafting like Carson Beck or something if he goes into the draft.
True, yeah.
But again, I do agree though that they need to like set this straight now. They need to get that quarterback for the future, and they need to create a new identity and culture in New York. I just don't think Daniel Jones clearly was that guy that was building the culture in the locker room. No, not to knock on him. He's a very skilled player, but I don't know. Something needs to change in New York. And you mentioned Dable getting fired. Maybe that's what they need to change. I don't necessarily agree with that. I actually do believe that he's a really good coach, and I think again he's just in an awful situation. But I think the Giants have I think they have a coach that cares about the players. He really wants them to win. He's still out there fighting every week. He's still pushing them. I believe that's a guy to build the team with. But I think coaching is the least of their issues right now. I think a lot of it is in the players. But that's something they're gonna have to address in this offseason. So I don't know. They got a couple pieces. Tracy, he's been a good running back.
He's been a good. I was gonna ask you about that.
Yeah, he's been a good running back that stepped up. I did not see that coming. We thought Singletary was gonna be the guy, but Tracy's been taking over. Neighbors has been great. They've got a couple pieces that.
Just a couple pieces.
They got only a couple pieces on that Giants team. Dexter Lawrence is another guy that they can, build around the defense a little bit. But they've got pieces that can maybe move to. But it's interesting to see what their future holds.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a lot of changes this offseason with the Giants, clearly. That
I agree.
Are much needed. So it's going to be interesting. But, again, Daniel Jones goes over to the Vikings now. But, honestly, I don't see this doing much for the Vikings. I think it's just another backup. Sam Darnold's going to still continue to be the starter. I don't see them pulling him in the middle of the season to bring in Daniel Jones, who's just learning the offense. I think Daniel Jones is just going to be there again as a backup in case something happens with Darnold, maybe his play goes down, while we wait for McCarthy to come back next season, because I think this is McCarthy's job to lose.
He's the real deal.
He is. I think this is McCarthy's job to lose once he comes back next season. So I think it's just a temporary thing for Jones. I don't think he stays on the Vikings the rest of the season, but it's gonna.
You don't think he stays on the team?
Oh, sorry, not the rest of the season. After the season. After the offseason, he'll find a new home.
I was gonna say,
he's gonna find a new home, but I think it's gonna be another backup job. I think.
You think so?
I think it's gonna be another backup job. I think he needs to sit a year on the bench.
A Mac Jones type of player.
Yeah, Mac Jones. We see it in a lot of guys though. Like Baker was on the bench for a little bit.
And Baker's now in a position where he is one of the better quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah, absolutely. Geno Smith, same thing, where he went to be the backup. Just a lot of guys who have done that, and they've obviously stepped back into starter roles. So we'll see. I don't know. Maybe that happens with Jones. He goes into a backup role and then comes back and is a starter maybe in a couple years. So we'll see.
The Vikings seem like the team that just kind of nurses players who are like not doing well, takes them in, kind of like, gives them a tiny little bit of experience, and then they just move on to their next team because they never stay for some reason. But, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. I like Daniel Jones. He's not like the best quarterback. He's not a good quarterback. His stats have been consistently bad throughout his career. Right. But, he's a good person. I hope everything turns around for him, and I hope whatever team after this season he goes on and plays well. Right. But I think the Vikings will do him some good justice.
I think he'll learn a little bit on that team. You know what I mean? Yeah. Being around some good receivers, being around a good coaching scheme, learn some things, and then go into the offseason and reevaluate from there and see what his options are, see what's on the table, moving forward next season. Again, it's probably going to be a backup job, but again, you wait on the bench for a year or two, and then I think an opportunity will eventually arise because he's still young, he's still got a lot of skills to put on the table.
Right, yeah. I
think he can still be a competent starter, but again, we'll see what his future holds. So
yeah, did you see that clip in the I don't know. It was, I think, a reporter, or I think it was Dayball. It was Dayball. Dayball was reporting that he was released, and you could hear like large banging in the background, and people were speculating, or it was rumored or something like that Darius Slayton was in the background like pissed because that's his like best friend.
Yeah.
and I watched the video, and like you can hear like the banging and screaming in the background. I don't know if that's actually true, but if that's true, then Slayton is pissed.
Yeah,
about
I can
this.
Understand why Slayton would be pissed with
he's
the
a vet
crazy quarterback change in the middle of the season.
Yeah,
where I mean,
there's 7 games left.
Right, they didn't have much hope anyways, but you just got rid of the guy that was supposed to be your franchise quarterback in 2019. You drafted him early in the first round, and now he just gets dumped. He got demoted to the 4th-string quarterback. He was playing scout safety.
It's crazy. That's crazy.
And then you release him. So I could.
He asked to be released, though.
He did ask to be released, but I mean, they were probably going to do it regardless. Though,
probably.
It
was going to happen eventually.
It was going to happen eventually. He was leaving the Giants one way or another. So I don't know. I can understand why Slayton would be pissed, and that would be kind of funny if he was, banging in the background.
It was a funny video
in a little protest. Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, that's it for Daniel Jones. 4th quarter finishes. This last week had some pretty crazy finishes in the 4th quarter.
Yeah.
For 5 NFL games.
There was some crazy
overall.
ones, right? Yeah.
Let's just go over them because they're very interesting. We'll start with the I don't have it in order of exactly how it went, but the Cleveland game in the snow, which looked cinematic to say.
Oh, it was incredible.
It was actually crazy.
It was crazy.
I love snow games.
Snow games. Oh, that's pure football right there.
Yeah,
that was pure football.
And this was Chubb's redemption game, I'd say, since coming back from injury. 2 TDs. I think it was. I don't remember how many yards he got. Do you?
It wasn't a crazy amount. I don't remember
80
exactly.
Maybe?
It was.
70?
It might have been a little less than that, but it wasn't a crazy amount. It might have been around like 60.
Either way, still pretty good that he got 2 TDs. One of them to win the game in the last minute. I thought that the Browns showed a lot of promise. I thought Winston competed well with Russell Wilson. And that's about it. It was a competitive game overall. I mean, did you see anything differently that, points to the Browns being a better team than we thought, or the Steelers being a worse team than we thought?
I think the Browns did show at points like they were honestly playing like better. Jerry Jeudy was having a really good game. Jameis was making some good throws, but at the end of the game, I think with the weather, it started to get a little sloppy.
Yeah.
But I think overall the Steelers are still the better team, but I just think kind of the weather played into effect. There was just some ugly turnovers at the end of the game, but again, Cleveland pulled through with this one. Nick Chubb got in the end zone. I do want to shout out, I did put a bet on Nick Chubb to score 2 TDs. I did put it after the first TD, but it was a live bet. I was going to put it on the first one, but then the live bet closed. So I put it on 2 TDs after he scored it, and then it banked at the end of the game. So
I wonder how much you would have made if you did it before. How much did you make placing it after the first TD?
It was like a $10 bet to win 46.
It's pretty good. So you probably would have won like what if you put 10 to start 80 something.
It could have been. Yeah, it could have been like that. Yeah, his odds were probably pretty good for that.
Especially since he hadn't scored a touchdown since coming back. We'll just say last year. It's been a whole year since he scored a touchdown. So like,
I think he scored one his first week back.
Did he?
Yeah, he did. I just don't think he's had much volume since then.
Oh, I don't even
he did
remember
score.
that.
He did score his first week back, but he didn't do much outside of that. So
we'll call
it his real redemption game.
Yeah, he would know this because he has Nick Chubb in a bunch of fantasy leagues.
Yeah, that's my guy.
I mean, yeah, that's all you. Next up, we got the what game was next out of all of them? Was it Bears or was it Commanders Cowboys? I don't remember which. It doesn't really matter.
It probably would have been Texans Tennessee. That was a 1 o'clock game.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, so yeah, I mean, for this game, the Texans were upset by the Titans, which I didn't see coming. I don't think you saw coming. We both in our predictions last week had the Titans winning. The Texans winning.
Yep.
And I felt like it was easy, and it was an upset. Levis played surprisingly good. C.J. Stroud, I mean, he did have a pick, by the way. C.J. Stroud had 2 interceptions, and he didn't really play to his, normal self, I'd say.
Right.
But, I mean, he just kind of played okay.
I feel like Stroud's kind of like, not to knock on Stroud again.
Yeah.
I think Stroud's kind of had a little bit of a sophomore slump. Like, I feel like he's
agree.
not the player that we saw last season. And again, that happens. You know what I mean? It happens all the time where people have sophomore slumps, but not to say that he's having a terrible season. He's still having a decent season. But he's taken a step back a little bit from the flashy plays that we saw last year. But I think he's still going to be really good going forward. I think it's just a bad week. It happens. He's still young. He's still learning. So I think it's just a bad week. You move on. You're not going to win every game. You're not going to play well every game. So I wouldn't be like too like worried about
For sure,
throwing 2 picks here. I think the Titans just had a really good game.
Yeah.
I just think they played really
Honestly,
well.
that might have been like their legacy game.
Yeah, I think probably the best game that they're going to play all season was that.
And I don't even think they played that well. But when you play a game against the Texans, who are a high-scoring team, I mean, there's a lot of good things that you can say about the Titans for that.
Right.
So, I mean, it did take a missed field goal and then a safety to end the game for the Titans to win. I mean, the safety was after the missed field goal was happened. But still, like, these are good signs on the Titans, and they're a team that's obviously not going to make playoffs. They're bottom of the league.
Right.
But these are good signs when you think about the future.
Right. Yeah, going forward. Yeah, and if plays like this,
exactly,
guys who can contribute and again, like, make plays consistently like this and win them games. So
right,
something to look forward to in the future
for sure. And I think it also kind of alludes to a better Will Levis. I didn't see any crazy highlight. Negative highlight from him.
Yeah,
this
he's
week.
had a bunch of those this season. Yeah, every time he's played, there was like a little meme that's been going on with him just doing something crazy. Whether it's, the fumble and he had his hands off.
Dude, that's such a funny photo.
Oh, that photo is hilarious. Or just him throwing just some bad picks. He did have the one, but again, I think he played all right though. I think
overall, Levis, pretty good game, man. Let's make this a start. Let's do some things from now on, instead of just being clowned upon by the league, basically. Right. But yeah, good game, Titans. You beat the Texans.
Yeah.
So what's next?
I think next will probably be with the Panthers and Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh yeah.
They almost pulled off the upset. They were very close. Bryce Young looked really good this game. He was making some really good plays, some really good throws against a tough Kansas City Chiefs defense. So I think that was something to look forward to after, him we talked about this before, him getting benched and him coming out and playing really well, almost upsetting the reigning champs and the Chiefs. I do want to say I was very close with my prediction the other week. Yeah. I did say that the Panthers were going to win. They didn't win, but they did play really well.
You took it back, though. I
did take it back. I did take it back and ended up having the Chiefs win, so I was right. But
so basically, you knew it was going to be a close game.
I kind of thought it was going to be a close game. I think I did. I will play devil's advocate. I think in the last episode I did say it was going to be a blowout because they were going to be mad. But
I don't remember that.
But hey, we don't have to worry about that. We'll talk about my prediction.
Forget about it.
Let's forget about that. We'll talk about my prediction from 2 weeks ago, and the Panthers were going to give them a run for their money, which is exactly what
they did. Yeah.
So
Bryce Young, 21 for 35 pass attempts, 263 yards, 1 TD. I think the thing that stands out most is the 263 yards because I think that's one of the most that he's thrown in a while.
Oh, yeah.
It's interesting, too, because he doesn't have Deontay Johnson on the team anymore as, even a threat. And your biggest threat this game was David Moore, who had 6 receptions, 81 yards, and a TD.
Yeah, he had a good game.
Surprising, though.
Yeah.
Chuba looked good. He has looked good all season. 58 yards and a TD. I'd honestly say that's just a decent performance from him. It's nothing crazy
to write home about, right?
Yeah, but I know he's a piece that they want to move forward with,
right?
Since signing the 4-year contract,
right?
And they still have Jonathan Brooks, who will. I don't know if it's gonna be a 1A 1B type situation, but we'll see.
I don't know. We'll see what that. I mean, Jonathan Brooks came and he debuted this week. He didn't really do much. He had a quiet game, but again, I think with giving Chuba the contract, I low-key think that they're going to do the 1-2 punch. I think they're going to want to do what the Lions are doing with David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, where you know what I mean, they're going back and forth, and it's it's really productive. Both of those guys don't let their egos get in the way. They know their role, and they go out there and dominate. So I think that's something that they might want to do with Jonathan Brooks and Chuba, and I think that's a good tandem right there that can be that 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. Looking forward to the Panthers' future. They've got. Again, they've been bad. They're still kind of in poverty, but there's some things to be excited about. Yeah. There's some young pieces to be excited about, but I don't know. Maybe Bryce Young still can be that guy. It's only his second season, but
he deserves a little bit of a chance for sure.
I think he still deserves a chance. He was the first overall pick. I don't think the Panthers should give up on him after this offseason, unless they find a crazy trade partner or something that is way better than Bryce Young. But I think you still got to give him at least another year and see if he'll develop anymore.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes.
I also think that as we talk about how the Chiefs almost, blew this game to the Panthers, Mahomes is getting a little overshadowed. And I usually am one to hate on Mahomes and call the Chiefs lucky and say that he's not been good this year because he really hasn't been that great.
No.
But this game, he actually played pretty decent.
He did.
He had 27 completions on 37 attempts, 269 yards, and 3 TDs. That's a solid.
That's a good game. That's a good game. I think that's honestly maybe an average game for what we expect Mahomes to be. A good game, average game for the typical Mahomes, which is still incredible. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Really good game, but we're so used to him being, 300 passing yards, like 3-4 TDs a game when they're blowing teams out. But I think he might be back. I think they're.
I don't know. One game against the Panthers. I don't know if that technically means you're back.
He just needed to get into that rhythm. You know what I mean? Yeah. He needed to make those connections, and he got it. But I don't know. Maybe he's not back. I think he is though.
I don't know.
Not to say he was ever gone because again, it's Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
But I think the Kansas City Chiefs are like getting everything clicking. I think Mahomes is going to start playing great again. Kelsey's going to start playing great again. They're getting a little healthier. Pacheco's going to be coming back.
Yep.
The defense is still stepping up, so
and
they're still going to be a force to reckon with.
And they got through with only one loss against the Bills. So I mean,
they're scary. Mad about that at all. They still are very scary. You can't be mad about
scary.
that at all.
Let's go into our next matchup because there's two more. Is it the Bears?
Yeah, probably Bears. Yeah.
Bears. Oh wow, this was a good one. Bears forced overtime on. I didn't write it down. Who was it against again? It was the Vikings, right?
Yep.
The Vikings. The Bears forced overtime on the Vikings. Scored a TD with 22 seconds left. Onside kicked, and I think it was Munt. The ball hit the back of Munt's leg, and they recovered the onside kick, which is crazy by itself. Caleb storms down with a long throw to I think it was DJ Moore. They score a 0-second field goal to tie the game and force it to overtime.
Crazy for fourth quarter finish there.
That's crazy right there, and especially since it's the Bears, this is opposite of what they've been used to the last few weeks.
Oh, I know.
You know what I mean?
They've been playing some really bad football the past couple of weeks. But
yeah, and unlucky too.
And some unlucky ones.
Yeah.
They ended up coming back again, like we said, and tying it, but they ended up losing in overtime anyways. But hey, it was still a valiant effort. It was still something to like a bright spot to look on for them.
For sure, yeah. But I mean, overall, the biggest thing that I see coming from this is Caleb is really coming into his own. I think even though with all the struggles of losing, I think Caleb has over the last few weeks really shown who he is.
Right.
Shown that he's the first overall pick and that he deserved that pick. And this game really showed it despite the loss. Of course, they were very unlucky and they lost the coin toss and the game went to the Vikings. Right? Of course that happens. But overall, the Bears forced overtime, and I think that's something that you need to look at and be like, that's the bright spot, as you said.
Right.
So, I mean, not much else to it. The Vikings played a decent game. They probably could have not.
They should have won that game. It should have been that tight.
Regular time, yeah, they probably should have
been that tight. But
yeah,
I think the Bears showed some resilience there. I think they were able to crawl back.
Yeah,
like you said, Caleb's gonna start, getting into his own with the offense. The season's only like about halfway. It's a little over halfway through. Again, it's his first year. He's a rookie. He's still learning, the NFL. He's getting used to the offense. He's gonna make mistakes like we've seen. And he hasn't had good pass protection either. So he's getting sacked a lot. The turnovers aren't helping. But I think, he's getting to his own. He's realizing the game of the NFL, and I think he's gonna start playing really well these last couple of weeks of the season. So,
let me ask you, how do you feel about Eberflus?
I think he might be on the hot seat going into it. I think the team's not going to get much better going to the rest of the season. We talked about this last week. They got a really hard schedule, and I think honestly he could take the fall and he could be cut. I don't know. I think they will ride the rest of the season out with him. But
you think so?
I think they will and see how it goes. But in the offseason, I think that stuff is something that they're going to reevaluate as the coaching and seeing if this is who we want to move forward with our development of Caleb Williams and helping him. So I don't know. It's definitely something. I think he is on the hot seat, though. I think they definitely need to reevaluate and see if he's actually the coach that they want going forward into next season. But I think that's something interesting to look at for them.
It is, especially since hearing I see a lot of things of Bears fans who are recognizing that he might just be a problem.
Yeah.
I think he's had enough time to do something. He hasn't done anything. He's been. This is his third season. Nothing's really come out of it, and I do think that he's on the hot seat. It could come sooner.
It very likely could.
It could come as soon as maybe even after this Thanksgiving game against the Lions.
Yep.
But I don't think it'll be that soon, especially since the Lions are such a good team. But like I think it'll most likely be at the end of the season. But we could, depending on the score, depending on how these games go, these next few, see an early firing. It's up in the air. There's potential for that. I know he's on the hot seat for sure.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
We'll go over. We do want to talk about the Commanders and the Cowboys ending because what a wild fourth quarter that was.
That was the craziest one.
That was such a crazy fourth quarter ending. Cooper Rush played decent, with the Cowboys. I said he was going to be. I said the Commanders were going to win, and
so did I.
And I said Cooper Rush was not that guy. Cooper Rush kind of made me eat crow, and he played pretty decent. They had a tight game with the Commanders. What a fourth quarter though, honestly.
Dude, what were the stats for the fourth quarter?
It
was 10-9 Cowboys going into the fourth quarter, and the game ended up 34-26.
It was like the last like 4.5 minutes were absolutely insane.
Insane, yeah. So I'm just gonna go over it because it's insane to see or visualize in your head. Field goal with 8 minutes and 11 seconds left for the Cowboys. Touchdown with 5 minutes left for the Cowboys. So now it's 20-9. Touchdown literally 2 minutes later by the Commanders with 3 minutes to go, and then on a kick back to the Cowboys 10 seconds later, touchdown, 99-yard touchdown by Turpin for a kick return. Make it 27-17. Less than a minute later, or literally a minute later, Seibert hits a 51-yard field goal to make it 27-20. And then a minute and 20 seconds later, after they force the punt, Terry McLaurin 86-yard pass from
Daniels. That was a crazy play. Touchdown. 86 yards for Terry.
And the cherry on top, the thing that made it so interesting, is Seibert missing his second extra point.
I know he choked the game away. They probably would have gone to overtime, and it could have been a very different result. But
are you kidding me?
He choked it, and it didn't help them at all. The Cowboys just ended up going down. They were going to win the game regardless, but they ended up scoring the touchdown just
literally right after that.
Yeah, after that. Later. He didn't end up sliding. He ended up just running to the end zone. I know the coaches were all mad. I saw Mike McCarthy on the sideline being like, "What are you doing?" But I don't necessarily blame him. I like the greediness, just running in, running up.
Greedy, bro.
Yeah, bro, run up the score. Why not? Make it interesting. So yeah, again, the Cowboys came up with the upset win, 34-26. So
crazy.
I did not see that one coming. I thought the Commanders were going to take that one, but that was definitely.
I thought it was going to be easy too.
Yeah, but that was such a crazy ending on that one.
Yeah, got to give Cooper Rush his accolades to be.
I will. I will give him. I'll give him credit where credit is due. So
for sure.
Again, he made me eat crow on that one. So Cooper Rush, I'm so sorry. You might be that guy. You might be on him watch.
You might be, man. But overall, that's just everything from this week that happened in the fourth quarter. There was some other cool games this week. We don't really want to mention them because they're not really that important. But we just thought that the fourth quarter finishes was something that you had to talk about because this was a crazy week. I enjoyed watching football this week.
It was a really good week for football. Yeah. Absolutely.
And we watched some of the games. I don't know if you were here for. Yeah, you were here for it. We watched the Cleveland game inside the trailer.
Yeah.
So what a trip. What a trip.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty good week. But let's move into our next session, which is what?
Yeah, so we're gonna go through the NBA's top 10 plays of the night on November 25th. Just the other day. I think there were some really good ones. So this was a night that I really wanted to go over. There was a good Lamelo clip that I really wanted to watch back. So
some good content.
There it is. So let's look with this. Watch it back. You ready?
Yep.
All right. Cool. So number 10.
Top 10.
Let's see this. Number 10. This is the Celtics game.
Of course it is.
Yep. KP with the block.
Oh my god! In his first game back, right?
Yep. KP again, just getting healthy, coming back, hits the double hand block.
Those jerseys are nice.
They are nice. They're starting to grow on me.
Yeah.
Ooh, behind the back.
That's a
little lay.
That's a clean move.
That was a clean move. Look, he got fouled there real quick. But yeah,
little
Bogdanovich with a nice, like, behind the back little layup.
Nice play.
Yep.
See the
Ooh, big dunk right there. That
Oh,
was nice.
man.
Yep. Daniel Tice. Yeah, you can't compete with that. I love you, Daniel Tice, former Celtic. But Tyrese going up for the ooh, nice ball behind the back a little.
Pass.
Yep.
Yeah,
that was
two
nice.
defenders coming towards him.
I know.
Damn. Good awareness. Is that Tice again over Tice?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Tyson himself a bad game apparently. Curry pulled up deep three. You know that's automatic with Curry.
Is this even a highlight at this point?
It's just an average just Curry shot.
Is this just a regular clip?
Yep.
I don't know.
And he gets fouled there too. Oh my god. He hits a little shimmy.
What is he doing?
He hits a little dance too.
This is weird.
Oh, this is the one. This is the one I was talking about. Lamelo with the crazy dribble moves. Steps back off the 1 foot. This is some stuff he was doing at Chino Hills, and people were saying that type of play wasn't going to translate into the NBA. But he's the same player that he was in high school. He's doing this, and it's going in. He's crazy. Lamelo's having a good start to the season so far. Another Cavs highlight real quick.
Like a puppet too.
Another behind the back pass, alley oop with a little lay.
Ooh, okay, clean.
Yep.
Clean. Some
Right at the
small.
end of the second. I like that. Nice pass by Trae Young. Did I say Cavs? I think I said Cavs.
Oh, you might have.
I meant
I
Hawks.
didn't realize.
I don't know why I said Cavs. Ja with a nice behind the back pass.
Man.
That was nice.
Actually fooled everybody there.
Dead.
Three
Brandon Clark
people.
too. Yeah,
wow.
he fooled 3 people to get that through Brandon Clark. Oh, Rob Will too. He's a really good player, Rob Williams.
He's all right now.
Ooh, that was a nice dunk.
And that's a good highlight.
Yeah, and that's John Morant. Yep. Oh my goodness.
Holy aura. Oh my god. Everything about this dunk is nice.
That was a business decision behind him to not jump and contest with him because Ja was dunking that.
That was going in no matter
That
what.
was going in no matter what.
Let's see it.
Right at the buzzer for the game.
Oh man. Who was this? I can't even see.
Ooh, right over his
Oh
hand.
man. That's how you win a game.
That was a crazy shot.
Look at this. Look at this angle too.
That was a nice angle.
Wow.
Team getting hype. Those were some good highlights.
Good top 10 plays.
They were. I think mine though, honestly, would have been the Lamelo one.
You think so?
I thought that. I mean, I guess he had the buzzer beater there, but that Lamelo one was crazy. That was a really crazy move.
If there was a player of the night when it came to highlights, it'd be Ja though.
Oh, Ja, yeah.
Behind the back pass, and then also the next play in the top 10 is literally him whipping that ball back and dunking it. Yeah, he's insane.
Yeah.
But
I'm glad to see Ja back healthy. You know what I mean, playing well
for
and
real, yeah.
getting some nice highlights again. So it's good to see him back and healthy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
But I think it's time that we move into our last section. Well, sort of last section.
Sort of
We'll
last
have
section.
something at the end. But we're gonna go into NHL Award predictions. So we're a little bit over 25% through the NHL season.
Yep.
Which means we can kind of take a look at some of the awards. Just to name a few: the Calder, which is like Rookie of the Year; the Hart Trophy, which is MVP to their team. And we'll go through a bunch of them, and we'll just see, if we differ in opinion at all, if we think, that a player isn't performing up to their standards.
Yeah.
But I got a list of players here, so I'm gonna go over them, and you're gonna tell me what you think. Okay?
Yeah. Slow at me.
So we'll start with the Calder Trophy.
Yeah.
And like I mentioned, this is Rookie of the Year.
Yep.
There's a couple guys that you can mention. There's Celebrini, who is coming back from an injury, but he's kind of on a point-per-game pace on a bad Sharks team. There's Matvei Michkov, who came to the NHL a lot earlier than people had assumed. They thought he would be over in Russia for a few more years. But here he is, and he has the most points out of the rookies. There's Logan Stankoven, who is, I wouldn't say, he's probably better off than all the other rookies because he had 24 games last season, but he doesn't qualify as a rookie last year because he only played that many.
Right.
And then there's Logan Wolf, Dustin Wolf,
I
don't know why I said Logan Wolf, who was also playing really well for Calgary. I mean, I don't know who you think, but personally, I think the points matter a lot, and I think Michkov is personally my Calder favorite right now.
Yep.
What do you think?
No, I think that's a good answer. We were talking a little bit about this before. I was talking about Dustin Wolf. I think Dustin Wolf's having a really good start with Calgary, but at the end of the day, I think Celebrini, he was hurt for a little bit. I think Celebrini will take it at the end of the day.
You think Celebrini?
I think Celebrini is gonna. I think
Okay.
Celebrini's once he gets healthy and he gets figured out with that team. I think he will take it.
Yeah.
So I mean,
that's fair. I think it's gonna be a close race.
I think it
again,
will be close.
to be honest.
Right. I think that's definitely something we need to keep a tight look at. But I'm gonna go Celebrini. I'm gonna go. That's who I think. I think that's a safe answer once he's all healthy.
We'll go Hart Trophy next. MVP to their team. I think there's a large consensus for it to be Kirill Kaprizov.
Yep.
He's putting up insane points and numbers for the Wild, who have basically nobody other than him. They got Marco Rossi, who is playing pretty decent. But other than that, he's kind of carrying the Minnesota Wild into a playoff position.
He has been, absolutely.
It's just kind of insane. And I think if there's anybody else who could be a close second, it'd be Kucherov. Because the Lightning don't really have crazy options, but they still have Braden Point.
Yeah.
They don't have Stamkos, obviously, anymore, but they have Hedman. They
still have a solid team. They still have a lot of the core that they won the cup with. A couple key pieces are missing, but they're still a good team, still a contending team.
Not to mention
Vasilevsky, he's incredible. Incredible goalie every year. Someone I want to highlight too is Sam Reinhart. Sam Reinhart's been really good to start the season. I think he's either leading the league in goals as of right now, or he's second.
Goals, yeah.
He is leading the league in goals. Okay, so I think that's definitely someone to look at. He's playing really well for the Panthers, but I think that's as of right now. I think my pick would be Reinhart.
Or Reinhart.
I think Reinhart.
You think Reinhart?
As of right now, but I agree with you. I think Kaprizov is going to win at the end of the season, though.
I think Reinhart could fit into a bunch of categories here, to be honest.
Yeah,
that's why
I definitely have him winning at the end of the season one of these awards, but we'll get back into them.
We'll get to that. Vezina Trophy is the best goalie, and I think this one, there's literally no debate. There's no reason to talk about it. It's probably going to be Connor Hellebuck for the Winnipeg Jets.
No debate.
Crazy start to the season. He's playing better than he has in the past years when he did win a Vezina.
Yep.
He's insane.
Absolutely.
He's putting up insane numbers. I think his goals against average is a .929.
That's absolutely insane.
Which is insane. You're saving more than 9 shots out of 10. Well, that's kind of average to save 9, but when you're saving .030 above that, you're an insane goalie.
He is absolutely
an insane goalie.
He is. He absolutely is. He's definitely going to win the award. Yeah. There's no one even to compete and debate it with. He's going to win it.
And I think the next one, the Norris Trophy for the best defenseman, is also pretty much a layup. I think there's some other names that you can mention, but I think this is going to be Cale Makar.
You think?
Yeah.
I think Victor Hedman can give him a run for his money.
You think so?
I think he could. I like Cale. I like the pick with Cale. I think Victor Hedman's a really good one. I think another one to look at is Quinn Hughes. Quinn Hughes has been really good.
Yeah, I agree. Quinn Hughes is up there.
I think I agree with you though. I think it can be Cale. I think Cale's a really young, great player. Hedman, like I said, he's been great before, but I think Cale might take it. But I just playing devil's advocate. I think Hedman is going to give him a run for his money. But I do like the Cale pick. I am going to agree with you on that.
Cale won it last year, so I mean, I don't know if the league likes to switch things up. I've the McDavid Award, which was the Art Ross Trophy, or the Hart Trophy, basically every year. He's won it a lot of times in a row. So I mean, it's not really confirmed who it's going to be. Right. But I got Cale, you got Hedman. It seems.
I'll sway. I'm gonna go with Cale. I'm gonna go with Cale.
Cale's a good pick. I mean, there's not too many options. There's Quinn Hughes. There's Josh Morrissey if you want to lean more towards on the point side. If you want to lean on pure defense, Rasmus Anderson for the Flames. But really, I think it's Cale, Hedman, and Quinn Hughes, to be honest.
Those are the top 3. I have them pulled up right here, the betting odds.
Hedman, the betting odds are like that.
Hughes,
makes sense. Next, we'll go to the Selke, which is the best two-way player, offense and defense. For me, this is Alexander Barkov's to lose.
You think?
I think it could be Barkov, but that's not even the person I'm picking. I personally would like to go a little bit lower on the totem pole and say Nico Hischier. He came second last year, and I think he's, as our friend, who I'm not going to mention because I don't know if he wants to be named, would say, is due.
Yeah,
he's due.
He is due.
But I think Nico has consistently played a good two-way game for years, and I think it's his time to win.
Yeah.
I think Barkov could also get it too.
I think Barkov definitely could because his name's always going to be there.
Yep.
I think right now, like going back what I was saying, I think Sam Reinhart could be.
Really?
I think it could be Sam Reinhart.
As a two-way?
I think as a two-way,
fair.
yeah. I'm looking at his defensive ratings right now, and they've been really good.
That's good.
They're actually top. He's actually third as of right now.
Name some stats if they got it.
Yeah, let me pull that up real quick. So,
Because I'm curious. I mean, Sam Reinhart, he's a great, incredible player.
his defensive rating right now is plus 2.5.
Yep.
He's averaging about 20.5 minutes per game. Let me pull these other ones up.
This doesn't even like involve the points. You know what I mean?
Right. His usage is 93%. Like he's heavily involved on that team. He's heavily involved in the offense. He's heavily, on the defense. He's getting back. I think Sam Reinhart could win this. I think that's who I'm gonna go with. I think, it's a name that doesn't get talked about too often with the Selke. Because maybe he's more known for being a front offensive forward, but
yeah.
I think that could be someone that he gets it. I think he's been good just on both sides of the ice. So
it would definitely be. It would be new because usually the Selke is like the same three people every year. We usually see Kopitar.
Yep.
We usually see
Barkov. It was Bergeron. Right.
So I mean, seeing Reinhart, I wouldn't be too upset about it.
Pretty interesting. Definitely could.
Yeah, for sure. Next up, I have the right here. I have the Art Ross.
Yep.
For the point leader.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't really too sure because you're like guessing at this point.
Yeah, it kind of is a guess. It's just a statistical guess. It's not.
It is
It's literally just who's gonna get the most points.
But based on that, I got Nathan MacKinnon.
Yeah, I got Nathan MacKinnon.
You got Nathan MacKinnon. I think Nathan MacKinnon is. I mean, every year he's putting up over 100 points. It seems, and he's.
Yep.
It's insane how he's doing it too. I think another name that you could mention that I think could give him a run for his money is Leon Draisaitl.
Yep.
Interesting that it's not McDavid, but I think Draisaitl is playing a little bit better than McDavid this year.
So far, yeah.
He gets more involved on the offense, and I think McDavid gets a little bit more involved back on defense. But overall, two amazing players right there who could put a point on the board at any point.
Absolutely.
But I think Draisaitl usually gets a little bit more points than McDavid in the end, usually. But in the end, I got MacKinnon.
I'm gonna go with MacKinnon.
This is his year.
I think that's a good one to go with.
Yeah. And then last but not least, we got the Maurice Richard for goal leader. See, this is where I have Sam Reinhart.
I'm gonna say with that, I'm also go Sam Reinhart. I think he's been an incredible start to the season, scoring goals. I think he's gonna continue that streak. He's on a really good team that's gonna set him up to score a lot of goals. So
yeah,
I'm gonna keep that. I think so. Again, like we were talking about, Leon Draisaitl is a name that we could continue to look at going forward. He scores a lot of goals too. Rantanen, Kaprizov, like they've been great. McDavid, someone you obviously want to look at every year, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna go Sam Reinhart. I think he's gonna continue the streak, and he's gonna win. I think he's gonna win and get the most goals. So.
He has 17 goals right now. He just scored again tonight. So I mean, I don't know how many games they played. Maybe 24, 25. Maybe?
It's still a really good average per game.
Either way, that's insane.
It's still a really good average per game.
We'll see where he's at the end of the season. We'll see how close we come to at the end of the season. These predictions, I mean, they're based on early numbers, so they could be so different.
Right.
But I wouldn't be surprised if they're very similar.
Right. Again, like you said, we're only quarter way through the season, so a lot of things are going to change. People, might get injured. People might not, go through some bad times or whatever, play bad, or people might step up and play incredible. You know what I mean? It seems to name names that we didn't even talk about. But yeah, again, only quarter of the way through the season, so there's a lot to keep looking forward to. We can come back throughout the season maybe and just check about see how our predictions are doing.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe if we need to tweak them a little bit, we can do that. But it should be fun. It's gonna be a fun season.
Agreed.
So.
Yeah, I love the NHL.
Absolutely. To wrap it up, though, I think the last thing is Happy Thanksgiving. Tomorrow is going to be Thanksgiving Day, so hopefully maybe this episode gets uploaded then.
If it doesn't, then it's probably the day after. So if you enjoyed Thanksgiving already, then good. I hope you ate really well.
Hopefully you did. Go eat some more pie if you're watching it at this point, or if it's the next day, go eat some leftovers. But Thanksgiving football is a big tradition every year. So I want to talk about some of those football games just real quick. We won't spend too much time. We'll go make a parlay video on the socials, on the TikTok, on the Instagram. So check that out after this. But We got a couple games. So Bears Lions, first one we want to start off with. So who do you got in that game? I got one. I think it's a pretty easy answer.
I think it's easy, and I don't want to fall into the same realm of we thought it was easy that the Commanders were going to beat the Cowboys last week, but I think
it could be like that. But
it could be, but the Lions are going to beat the Bears.
Yeah,
that is happening.
Yeah. Lions play every year on Thanksgiving. I think they're gonna, they're playing not a great team. They're a really good team. I think they're gonna go get the dub and eat the turkey leg after the game. So
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Caleb also had a good game and he continued this good run that he has.
He could, yeah, absolutely.
It could be competitive, but the Lions, they could put up 56 on you just like they did against the Jags. I think it was.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. This Lions team is scary. I personally have them as Super Bowl favorites.
I think, yeah, absolutely.
I think actually they just are. They just are.
They're what? They've only had one loss this season, so they definitely are someone you need to look at as Super Bowl favorites. But again, we'll see how the rest of the season goes. But I'm gonna go with the Lions here on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then the next one we got Giants Cowboys. So this could be a game where people might want to take a nap, but at the same time, I think this could be a really good game potentially.
Yeah.
Potentially, I think it could be underrated game. We got some really good receiver matchups. We got Malik Neighbors. We got CeeDee Lamb. There's some talent. Not some great quarterback play, but you never know. We could maybe see these receivers ball out. And I don't know. What do you think? Do you think this could be a game that could be exciting, or do you think it's going to be a snooze fest?
It could be exciting. I think it's more on the snooze fest. So I might be napping during it, but if you're wide awake, when I wake up, you can tell me how it went.
Yeah.
But
I'll be watching it.
I personally think this is going to be a ground game.
Mm-hmm.
I think Tyrone Tracy and Rico Dowdle are going to put up... I'll set the line at 75 yards. I think they put up more than that, though. I think they put up 80, 90. Just a feeling. I think Neighbors will have a good game. I think Wandale will get a little bit involved. On the Cowboys side, I think Cooper Rush will probably get CD involved a decent amount, but that's a given.
Yeah.
But I think the running backs. My prediction is the running backs will shine. And in the end, I think the Cowboys will win.
I agree with you. I do think the Cowboys shine. I'm going to switch the prediction with you said the running backs. I think the receivers are actually going to shine.
Interesting.
I have a weird feeling that this could be a fun game in the air.
Cool.
I think Neighbors could go off. I think CD could go off like I was saying. But I think CD's going to take the better of that. And I think,
yeah, that's fair.
Last week I doubted Cooper Rush. This week, Cooper Rush, prove to me that you were Heem. I'm going to say that you're on Heem watch this week. So look out for Cooper Rush. Look out for him throwing the ball to CeeDee Lamb. I think CeeDee's going to have a really good game. So
yeah,
I think we'll see that.
We'll
see that. I know. A couple of years ago, or actually more than a couple of years ago, Zeke had that fun touchdown in the end zone where he jumped into the pot on Thanksgiving Day. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe Zeke gets in the end zone and they have the pot in there again, and maybe get that celebration again. But
why do they have a pot on Thanksgiving?
Just for like charities.
Oh yeah,
just to promote charity.
It's like in my head, I'm thinking is it March? Because is this like a rainbow?
I think it's just to promote like charities and stuff like that. So
that makes sense.
It could be fun to see that. Maybe CD does it potentially. I don't know. Maybe we'll look into that into a potential TD score parlay. So I don't know. Be on the lookout again, like I said on the socials. So we'll have that. We'll have that out. We'll have that at least out before Thanksgiving games. And then the last game, Dolphins Packers. Again, I think this is going to be game of the day. I think this could be a fun one. I think this is going to be a tight one. I don't think the other ones. I think Giants Cowboys could be tight.
Yep.
It might not be as incredible eye popping because there's not as many stars. Lions Bears. I think the Lions again, like we said, I think it's going to be a good win for them. But I think Dolphins Packers is a really interesting game that it could go either way. So what do you think about that? Who do you think could take this one?
This is tough. I agree with you. I think it is going to be super competitive and very close of a score. I think you could even see this being a really high scoring game too.
Yeah.
And that's what I personally believe it will be. In the end, I'm going to go ahead and say Tua has another good game.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to say that the Dolphins beat the Packers.
Okay.
Now, last week I had the Packers to win in our predictions.
Yeah.
But I think this week the Dolphins win just because Tua's finally found his rhythm since coming back. Trying to get Tyreek more involved. They finally are getting Jonnu Smith involved.
Johnny's been really good the past couple of weeks. They've been getting him really involved in the offense. He's coming from nowhere.
He's had this talent for a while.
Yeah.
But he's finally getting used.
Yeah, he's getting some really good usage on that offense.
And it's scary because they already have really good pieces. But, I mean, we'll have to see if Jordan Love has a really good game to his receivers because last week he didn't really throw to Christian Watson or Dontavion Wicks. honestly, he kind of spread the ball everywhere. Not really everybody got some good targets. So, I mean, we'll have to see how that goes. He loves to kind of spread the wealth on that team.
He does, which is good. But I'm actually going to disagree with you. I'm gonna. This is the one where I think we switch. I'm actually going to take the Packers in this game. I think the Packers, they're going to continue the hot streak. They got the good win over the 49ers last week. I think they're going to do it against the Dolphins. I think, I think Jordan Love's an incredible talent. Like we said, they've got some good receivers, Christian Watson, Dontavion Wicks. I Tucker Kraft's another good tight end. I think they're going to pull this one off. Josh Jacobs can run all over the Dolphins. We'll see. But again, I think the Packers are going to take this one. I think Jordan Love is going to have a really good game. I think it could be, a high-scoring, tight game. But
I agree.
I am going to take the Packers on this one. And I think Jordan Love's going to be the one at the end of the night eating the turkey leg.
So I guess that'll be like the thing that we weigh next week at the beginning of the episode is who won, the Dolphins or the Packers. I'm Team Dolphins, you're Team Packers.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Packers.
I want to be Team Packers, trust me.
Yeah.
As a Pats fan, I'm sure we both want to be Team Packers.
Right.
But I think the Dolphins are in a better situation for this game, and you think the Packers. So, I mean, to each their own. We'll have to see next week.
Yeah, we'll absolutely have to see, how the game goes. It could go either way. I could definitely see the Dolphins winning it, but I think the gut tells me that, the Packers are going to take this one. So.
Fair enough. But that's all we got for episode 3. Shorter episode for sure. At least it felt like it.
Yeah.
I'm sure that you guys, if it's Thanksgiving today, eat well, eat some turkey, eat some stuffing. If you have ham, enjoy that ham. If you like corn, get the corn involved. Can't forget the vegetables. If you have a Friendsgiving soon, have fun with your friends.
Yeah.
Cherish them. Enjoy them. And enjoy some Thanksgiving football.
Absolutely.
But if it's after that, I hope you had a great time. And that's what I'll leave it at. So do you have any final words for the audience at home?
Something I'm thankful for is Inside the Trailer. I think I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah.
That's something that I'm thankful for this Thanksgiving is Inside the Trailer, started something new, started a new podcast, doing something different. So that's something I'm thankful for. I don't know about you. What are you thankful for?
Oh, man. I'm thankful for you, man.
I appreciate that. You know what? Give me some.
If you enjoyed this episode, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. We have weekly podcast episodes and more content on social medias. Our social medias will be in the description. If you enjoyed, then we'll see you next time.